Welcome to day 2 of your 12 days to a bulletproof Christmas. That's what we're going with. Now, on the last episode, we spoke about the fuck it mentality. We spoke about the all in or all out and how to reframe our mind a little bit so that we have momentum building up to Christmas, through the Christmas holidays and into the new year. Now, one of the biggest things that we start to see a drop of inconsistency is around the workouts. And there is a bunch of things that we can do to have still stay fit, still stay strong. And depending on what your goals are, depending on what your experience is, depending on what you want to do at this time of year as well, there's multiple different options on what you can do so that you don't feel that you're playing into that mentality that we spoke about in the previous episode, but more so you make modifications and apply not different structure, but you're like water, you flow, right? You're not like a rock, you're not like this solid object that I need to do 60 minutes of a workout, because if I don't do that 60 minutes, then I'm not doing it at all, because it's pointless going into the gym for any less than 60 minutes. Well, that's false. And this is arguably one of the best strategies that you can do at this time of year, and that is cut the workout volume down and focus on just getting the session in, moving your body. I think we always think we need to PR, and look here, that's why I'm saying it depends on your goals. One or a handful of you guys might be better just going, you know what, I'm just going to go in and do a 3-rep max on my deadlift today, and that's all I'm going to do. All power to you. It's still a workout, it's still hitting the dopamine receptors, it's made that feel good, it's filling that cup, as I said, when it comes to your consistency, when it comes to your fitness bucket. So let's figure out a way, or let's dive into how do we slay our workouts. That's what I wrote down. There's going to be some horrible puns throughout this series, but I hope it puts a smile on your face. And if it doesn't, then at least you'll have this cringy sensation as I maybe mention a few throughout this episode. Okay, so let's get into it. December, a lot of people overcomplicate their training at this time of year. They try, and an example is you are consistently working out, and it comes to the month of December, particularly at this time of year, you're maybe behind 2 or 3 workouts. And because you're behind on some workouts, what do? The next time you're in the gym, you try and play catch up. And catch up is never the best method, because if you've got a good program, then that program is to get the most out of your body within that set period of time. And doubling up training sessions just leaves you to a quicker burnout and a bigger pendulum swing. In the past, if you're a long-term listener, I used to always speak about the pendulum swing, where it would swing so hard one way where you're always consistent, and then something happens and the swing goes so far extreme the other way. We want to minimize that pendulum swing. So look, you don't need to sort of reinvent the wheel at this time of year, but there is steps on what you can do to chase the consistency over the perfection. There is a famous kind of saying that the more consistently followed poor program will always outperform the inconsistently followed professional program or elite program. It's not the program itself that's going to get you the results, it's the showing up. So how do we get you to show up? What are some things that we can do? Now, lifting does matter during the holiday period. I would arguably say it's the best time to lift. The gyms are a little quieter. You can tie this into social occasions. You can tie it in with meeting up with friends, bringing someone else along the journey, and kind of let your hair down a bit. You don't need to chase numbers. You don't need to chase PBs, as I said earlier on. It can just be for the fact of, I'm going to get into the gym, just do what I feel like. And that, weirdly enough, is one of the first points. I slag arm days. I don't believe anyone needs an arm day. But see, this time of year, they're great. They're nice little levers to pull on. And arguably when someone's struggling to get their session in, or they're struggling to get consistency, this is a strategy that I use with them. So I see that they're not going to the gym because the deadlifts and the squats are quite complicated lifts to do. And even though they can do them when they're in a session with me, there's just a fear of doing them on their own. So one of the helps, or one of the barriers that I do to break through that fear, is going, right, a lot of your fear is you think a lot of people's looking at you in the gym, and you've not built up enough reps of going into the gym just to get a workout in. So let's create a workout that we know you can get in to do. And everyone can go into the gym and do a bicep curl. It's usually a low skill, very easy exercise to do. And this is sometimes where I'll program arm days for clients. I might throw in a few other drills, but this is the time of year to do it. If you want to go in and juice up the guns, build the guns, then go for it. If you want to go in and just do a bum day, a back day, you just want to mess about with a couple of new machines that's in the gym, by all means, go for it. But the main thing is that you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for anyone else. You're doing it because there's a big part of the lifting. There's a big part of going to the gym. Yes, volume, progressive overload, making sure that your body's moving through this theme of phased training matters. It might matter for some of you guys at this time of year, but more often than not, it doesn't necessarily matter as much as this time of year. So you can still get the benefits of the reward from the workouts themselves. That has nothing to do with the gains. It has nothing to do with the look, the muscle, well, maybe the muscle pump, but more to do with the mentality of checking that box, deeply rooted into your mind to say, here, I got to the gym. It could be two exercises you've done, but you tick that box. You've still done it for you. And that's going to build momentum. It's going to keep the juices flowing. It's going to actually help you not lose any muscle mass or any strength if you kind of get 2, maybe 3 in on average over the next couple of weeks. And it's going to make you feel good. It's going to hit those feel good signals in your brain, and that's going to give you more confidence and play into other parts of your life as well. It's also going to help you with stress, right? This is a stressful time of year, dealing with families, especially if you come from like a broken family where there's 2 families, and then as we all get older, our brothers or sisters have their own families, so it becomes a 3rd family, and then before you know it, you're with someone and then they've got their family, and there's like 6 or 7 different families, even though we're all sort of under the same family umbrella. It's a fucking headache, driving them out, trying to see everybody, feeling bad because you don't see someone. So with all that stress, and then the added stress of trying to buy all the presents, do you have enough money, like everything that can go on, this is one of your outlets. This is the best outlet to have at this time of year. So try and not miss the workouts. And if you need to miss the workouts, then cool. It's just got too much on that day. So modify them, change them. I would actually say this is where the time of year to get the workouts done in the morning can be pretty good. That being said, sleep is a big factor. So if you're staying up and just expecting to wake up to go to the gym early, you might get away with it once or twice when you're a little bit more motivated, but you want to try and create some sort of sleep schedule around that. But morning workouts are great because less things can go wrong during the day, or less things can be asked of you during the day that then throws off the nighttime plans. Right, I did want to add this section in here. What is the best lifts to be doing in December? I'm going to say what the best lifts to do all year round. Squat. So do some form of squat. In fact, I'm going to just rhyme off the best routine to follow, and you can do this twice per week, and it'll keep everything cushy, and you'll even see some results. So I'm going to start with a squat pattern. A goblet squat, a back squat. Arguably, in fact, no, I'm going to stay away. Use whatever you want to do, but we're going to say squatting. Get a squat pattern in there. So you got that. You're then going to do some kind of single leg stuff. So a single leg step up. You're going to do a walk and lunge. Either one of them. So we got a squat. We're going to do 2 sets. In fact, no, I'm not talking about sets because that's the next part. Let me get this through in my head. So we got a squat, we got a single leg variation. We then have a hinge, so an RDL, trap bar deadlift, sumo deadlift, hip thrust, whatever you want to do there. You then have an overhead press. You then have, this can be like a dumbbell shoulder press, standing dumbbell shoulder press, seated dumbbell shoulder press, single arm shoulder press. But you see there's a theme here. These are all compound lifts, barbells. They are dumbbells. And arguably, this is what I would do, but just because it's what I would do and what I would prefer my clients do, doesn't mean it's the right fit for everyone. And how you modify this is the key, but we'll come on to what you can do to modify that in a sec. So you've got a press above head. You want some sort of bench press or incline press. I would say the best exercises, or the only exercises here, if you're not going to use machines, is going to be your barbell or dumbbell. After this, we want some sort of pull, some sort of row. So rowing in towards you, we can do bent over dumbbell rows, single arm dumbbell row, or a lat pull down. So there, arguably the lat pull down would fall into a different category, but one of those 3 And then you can move on to something to do with the calves. I would do a set of calf raises or a couple of sets of calf raises, and I would have something that challenges my rotation. So Russian twists, slow and controlled Russian twists would be a great one there. Or you can do my all-time favourite exercise, the vacuum holds, where you're drawing in, you're tense and you're holding. So that would be the structure of the workout program I would put together. I would do no more than 2 sets. I would do a wide rep range of like 6 to 15 to leave plenty of room to play, because if you go into a workout and you're feeling a bit fatigued, then you just need to do a little bit lighter weight and don't have to meet as much reps. But essentially, that would be the best lifts to include over the month of December. Now, arguably, if you're going to go in a couple of times throughout December, you could generally just go in, do deadlifts one day, do squat other day, and do an overhead press the day after. You arguably would want to add a row in as well. See those 4 lifts there? Don't overcomplicate it. Repeat them for the next couple of weeks. Watch what happens to your body. It's crazy. You just go in, do a couple of sets, spend 15 minutes on one lift, walk out the gym. It's nuts on what can happen with that alone. And I know there's a lot of like bodybuilders like, oh, that's fucking waste of time and all that. No, it's not. The waste of time's really spent, or the detriment of you not going to the gym. The waste of time then happens when you've lost your momentum and you're on the 17th of January and you've had 6 weeks of missed opportunity because you listened to some guy in TikTok that said 10-minute workouts were a waste of time. Think of all those 10 minutes that they can add up. Think about if you do 2 10-minute workouts over the next 6 weeks. It's 120 minutes of working out towards something. And if it's a compound lift, your body's getting stronger. You're still working on your joint mobility. You're still working on your strength and your mobility and all the other things that comes along with that. So anyone says a waste of time, just tell them to shut the fuck up, right? And the last thing I'll say about compound lifts is you want to be like, try to think here. How can I make this a Christmas analogy? So you got the reindeers that pull the sleigh, right? We all know, well, I actually don't know the names of the reindeers. There's only one reindeer I know of, and that's Rudolph, because he's the one that does most of the legwork. And if you want to be like Rudolph, then get your compound lifts in, because that's going to make you the stronger badass that finishes up 2024 on a high. Now, why do these work? Why is compounds the way to go? Well, you're hitting multiple muscle groups and movement patterns at one time. An isolated exercise where it's on a machine and you're fixed into this one movement pattern will work a handful of muscles at one time at best. Whereas your compound lifts, you get a bigger bang for your buck. So the luxury of going to the gym 6 days a week when you've got all these different things going on can be very hard to be consistent with. So you can scale that back. And you'll notice that the program I outlined was a full body routine. Full body routines at this time of year are fucking magical. They're the best thing to go after. But if it's not your cup of tea, as I said, just input an arm day. But compound lifts is, you get the element of kind of building a more resilient body that can handle the different challenges of your day-to-day movement patterns. You don't want to be lifting those presents from under the tree with a bad back, and compound lifts will help you with that. And that doesn't mean just screaming the weight up. Like, practice the lifts, practice the movements, practice the exercises, and get after them. Now, would you add any accessory work at this point? Would you add any isolated movements? I guess if you want to. The analogy I'll use with isolated movements, here's another Christmas analogy for you. We all get Christmas cookies that we leave for Santa. Well, some Christmas cookies come with sprinkles, some come with chocolate. And accessory work or machine work is like the sprinkles. It's not the main event, but they definitely make the cookie taste better. So add them in if you want. Don't overcomplicate it though. Is it necessarily needed? Arguably not, but also arguably yes. It depends on what your goals are. It all comes back to what it is that you're trying to pursue. But usually, if you're someone who's in and out of the gym and very inconsistent at this time of year, then just don't overcomplicate it. The main thing is that you get consistency. And if by going in and doing a shorter workout or a more full body approach, that is the best place to be. So let's get into how do you modify your workouts at the holiday time. So if you're short on time, full body, as we said, you can reduce your frequency of the gym from 6 days a week generally to 1 or 2 and still see progress. And because the progress will be from the the nuanced feeling that your body's experienced because you're doing these multifaceted joint movements combined on the one day. It feels really different. So it's like changing up the stimulus. You'll see the shock in the muscles. This generally will shock your muscles. That can be reduced to 1, 2, 3 days a week. You can be in and out of the gym in 30, 40 minutes. But if you are short in time, then this is where supersets can be pretty good, combining 2 exercises at one go. So doing your squats and then go straight into your walking lunges, and then using your rest period. You can cut your rest period. Arguably, one of the most overlooked things is actually looking at your rest periods throughout your workout. Set it to 90 seconds, hit it. Set it to 60 seconds, hit it. So you got that. You got supersets. You got drop sets where you can do both sets at the one go. So let's say you're doing 2 sets of squats, 1 set of squats at a weight, take a percentage of the weight off, do another set, done. Easy peasy. The other thing you can do is just cut the workout in half. So let's say you have a program that you're following just now. Take a set off every single workout, or use one of these other strategies. Change the rest period, do a superset, or just reduce the amount of exercises that you're doing. So they are the time-saving ones. Now, at this time of year, if you're feeling tired or stressed, you need to modify the weights. This isn't the time to PR. It's not the time to go off. Well, I say it's not the time. It's going to be the time for some people. For me, it definitely is. I've got a goal, as I said, of hitting this very lofty target when it comes to high rocks. I've only got 6 weeks left in my training split. So yes, that comes with a ton of pressure, but pressure that I'm prepared for. It's a goal that I've set, written it down, thought it through in my mind, and I want to give it my best shot. So I'm going to be looking to have hard training sessions in here. But I understand that that's not going to be most people, and it doesn't need to be most people. But equally, most years at Christmas, I do take my foot off the gas a little bit and change up the stimulus. I change up what I'm working on, but I make sure I've got my usual rituals, my usual routines in a day-to-day basis. But if you're feeling tired and you're feeling stressed, then you need to kind of reduce the weight. And this is a great time to, for the next couple of weeks, do the same lifts that you're doing, but just half the weight, and go, you know what? I'm going to work on just form. I'm going to slow everything down, and I'm going to get I'm going to execute the best technique that I can on this particular lift. And again, that's where, as I said, another thing you can do if you're short on time is modify the sets, modify the exercise you're doing, bring your reps down a little bit, and just work on a speed side of things. So there's a bunch of things that you can do. How often do you work out? You can modify all these sort of things, but just because you're modifying it doesn't mean you're a failure. Actually modifying it might actually help you better if you find that you are someone who's stressed out when it comes to putting so much pressure. If you're traveling about, home mobility drills, they are the most great. It's one of the best things that I've brought into my own programming and my clients' programming since I became a coach, was introducing them to these resistance band type workouts, so these mobility drills that we do from home. And it's almost instant reward. It's like, oh my God, I feel so much better just by doing that 5-minute routine. Cool. That's what you do for the next couple of weeks. Because the alternative is the wave of guilt. As I said, it's very hard to mitigate that if you're going to feel it anyway, but it's a feeling that comes from the standards that you've set yourself. So if you can't really move the standards, then it's like, right, what can you do? The baby with the bathwater. Don't chuck it all out. Let's think about, right, if you can't get to the gym, can we get one of these mobility drills in? And no one on here, no one listening to this is too busy that they can't get a 5-minute mobility drill in first thing of the day or last thing before they go to bed. There is time. Time isn't your enemy here. It's the changing your mind to the priority of it. And it can be a hard go at the start because you're like, this is a waste of time. This is shit. This is that. But you get a reward instantly. So what I'm going to do is, below this video, I'm going to have a little guide to the best exercises to follow and the best mobility drills that you can follow. Each one of them comes with a little workout demonstration, completely free. Just click the link below this video and you can get access to that. So there you go. That can help you build some quick wins in your workout. You can you're ultimately working smarter and still being able to enjoy the freedom that you may have come Christmas. Now, we've all got time off between Christmas and New Year. If you've got plans, then this is where you need to become a morning workout person. And the only advice I would say, if you're going to be changed from a nighttime workout or to a morning one, make sure you fuel for this. Don't over fuel, but make sure you get some fuel in your system. Give yourself a good give yourself an hour to an hour and a half before you get into the gym. So most likely you'll have afternoon lunches, afternoon teas, afternoon with the lads, pool, whatever events it is that you're going to. schedule that workout in at least once or twice throughout the week, modify it as we mentioned there, and you still get that sense of joy, that sense of achievement, that sense of approval from yourself, because you don't need it from anyone else. It's your soul that you're trying to look after, and by now you've probably realised that a big part of feeding your soul and being a better person overall is by making sure that you're tackling your fitness, or you're doing something for your fitness. And it doesn't need to be a PR. It could equally be a PR or PB sessions, but the main thing is that the sessions are being done, because that's where you're going to get that, not reward, but that's where you're going to get that sense of, man, I feel really good. I feel really good and I feel really confident, because you're aligned with the vision that you want to do. Be stronger, be healthier, be fitter, and build momentum going into the 2025 season. So there you have it. How to get your workouts in, what to do to modify your workouts, what's the best list to follow. As I said, the link below, you'll have everything that I've kind of mentioned here on a little kind of mini document. And yeah, as we move into January, you'll never regret modifying your workouts. You might regret missing your workouts, but as I said, just because you miss a couple of workouts isn't the end of the world. Think about the things that you can do, and if that's a 5-minute mobility routine, or it's a 45-minute strength training session, they equally place the same amount of value on you just doing it, okay? It's the main thing. It doesn't matter the workouts that you do, the main thing is that you're doing it, because it's all about the other things that comes along with the reward of working out. So the next episode is Christmas hot takes. This is a special edition, and I think you're going to enjoy that episode. It's an actual, I'm looking forward to releasing that one tomorrow. As always, if you want to support us through this, as I said, I'm doing a podcast every single day. This is the 12th podcast to a bulletproof Christmas, and this is episode 2. Episode 3 is the Christmas hot take. So if you like what I'm doing and you want to support us, look, we 5-star rating on Spotify, share it in your social media, give us a comment, let us know that you're listening, because this is lonely. I'm doing this myself now. It can be quite a lonely journey, but nevertheless, I love doing these for you guys. I hope you enjoy it, and if you've got any questions for the future episodes that we're doing, episode 9 or 10, I forget which one it is the Q&A one. So if you've got questions of things that you struggle with or challenges that you face at this time of year, reach out. Let me know about them, and I will share some of my favourite tips and advice and what you can do to overcome them. So enjoy, and I will see you guys on the next one.